is our third quarter community service partner. One of the things that I need to let the members of the club know is the contract we have with the space is up. And they have raised our rate by $100 a week. And that's not actually something we can sustain as a club. We have 100 shifts that we can find, but coming in at 43 members, that is not something we can sustain. So we are looking for a new place to meet, just to keep everyone up.
So I also wanted to address a couple of things real quick. So prior to COVID, we were at 100 members. We had kind of reached an equilibrium for things where, as dues roll again, we were always able to pay everything. Our meetings at Hilton were $105 a week. The deal that we had originally reached with Florence was $150 a week, so we were in better shape there. But things being as they are, our membership has declined by 55% since COVID, and just a few things I wanted to put in perspective for you. So, of the $130 of dues that are paid for each member, our club actually only gets to keep about $60. The rest of that goes through dues to the Rotary District and Rotary International. So, if you think about that, kind of extrapolate that information out later. At $150 per meeting, we're burning through the dues of 2.5 Rotarians just for that, for one meeting. So at $250, it's going to be exponentially more. But we've got sort of a couple of colliding prices here in that as we currently are, we will run out of money to operate in the middle of September, barring some year. Now, we do have, I think, a couple of fundraisers that are in the works right now, but we don't have a lot of information yet on those. I think Don Rollins looking at one of them, and then I discussed revival on the auction and the ranking. But my appeal, my most immediate appeal right now is if anyone would be willing to make donations to the benefit of the club. And then my second request is go out there and talk to people you know and tell them the story of Rotary, tell them what we can do, and maybe we can get those numbers back up to 100. So, thank you. Thank you.
So that was a downer, and I will admit that. So how about some happy dollars? How about some happy dollars? And if you remember, if you have something good that is happening in your life, personally, professionally, you want to tell us about it, share $1 with the club. I'll go ahead and start. Some of you know this already. My youngest did not have the best start to his freshman year of school because he wound up in the emergency room that day and had to have emergency surgery. He is home, and God bless him. I don't know where he gets this work ethic from. He insisted on going to school today. I don't think he's going to do it the whole day, but I dropped him off there this month. So I will give a happy $1 because he's feeling better. Anyone else? Gary?
I got $3. I'm gonna put in 2 paragraphs.
Okay.
One is for the Lakeside Christian Church. They've allowed us to be there several years. This will be our last year there. They are going to start doing other things at Christmas, but we want to thank them. The other $1 is Creation Museum and Art History of Genesis. They're going to have us there this year, the second week of December, and that's going to be a beautiful place to have it. The third $1, I just got the notice just before I came. Next year on December the 4th, First Church of Christ in Burlington, they're going to host our concert next year. So these are all 3 of those.
All right.
So my daughter started high school this week. My oldest daughter is a freshman at St. Henry. And she's in that teen angsty phase of life where everything's horrible or whatever. But so far at St. Henry, she comes home happy every day. I think she's just excited about what opportunities are in front of us. So.
So my happy hour is because my daughter registered at the University of Kentucky, and she started school today, and the family association down there takes her six school pictures. So I got her six school pictures.
Anyone else? Peter has a dollar.
Our son Eric accepted a job with the accounting firm down in Nashville, so we'll be helping move down there in 2 weeks. And with the exception of the cell phone bill, we'll about have him off the payroll.
Julie, are you introducing our guests?
Yes.
All right. Call Julie up to introduce our guests.
So we have a little bit of a special treat today. I met Teresa, it's been 5, 6 years, probably 5 or 6 years ago. And Teresa's the Hispanic Family Engagement Coordinator for Learning Room, which is an organization in Northern Kentucky. And I'm very passionate about our refugee and immigrant families in our school district. As you remember, when Mr. Fernand was here a couple weeks ago, we have 65 different languages in our school district. Over 2,000 of our students, over 20,000 students are immigrants and refugees who speak another language. And I've become very involved in Teresa and an organization that's now, it was an initiative with Learning Grove called FIESTA, and have met these wonderful ladies, Adriana, Anna, and Maria, who have just so much inspired me with how they are pushing forward to have a voice in our community and for people to understand what they've gone through to come to this country. And I believe you're all from different countries, right? Yep. So I would love to introduce them up here. So they are going to be speaking in Spanish, and Nancy, our wonderful interpreter, is going to be interpreting for us. So we're going to kind of experience what they experience when they go to a meeting and being translated to. So also have them sit, right? Yeah, they can come up and sit. And they can, you guys can really share it out with them to take it to people. So, there's a movie on Apple called Coda that actually won the Best Picture of the Year last year. It's not about PLL, it's about an ASL family. And if you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend it. Because if you put the lens of an ELL family on while you're watching that movie, it will very much change your perspective and give you a lot of empathy and make you want to be able to help those people be inclusive in our communities. So I'm going to turn it over to Teresa.
Hi. Hello. How is everyone? I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Teresa, and I'm now, this is really exciting, I'm now the director of FIESTA, and FIESTA means Families, Inclusion, Education, Society, Traditions, and Access. And all of those things are what's most important to the Hispanic community. So we started meeting January of this year. It was a small group. Anna and Adriana were actually in that group. And we were just planning some events around the Hispanic community. But in talking to the Hispanic community and building relationships, which is what my job is, we noticed a lot of need. So how can we meet these needs for only a few of us? And as we kept meeting twice a month, people kept inviting other people to meetings. So we grew from about, 6 or 7 people the first meeting to, I think, we have 40 people on the list. We've had up to maybe 20 people at the meeting.
We have different agencies, people from different agencies. We have Bright Center, Ion Center, Esperanza Center, St. Elizabeth, Boone County Schools, Canton County Schools, Parent Camp. We've got Boone County Government, so someone from his office, from Judge Moore's office comes. We've got, who else do we have? Ameriprise, which is a financial group. So we've got kind of a sprinkle, and we've got families. We have a sprinkle of a little bit of everything. And our goal is we meet to identify needs, and then we brainstorm ways to meet those needs. So one of the needs, and this is an easy fix. When our families go to schools, they don't speak English, right? So they don't speak the language. They don't even know how they're going to approach the person at the front desk that doesn't speak their language. We created business-sized cards. The ACLU paid for them. We created business-sized cards that said, hello, my name is, my child blank attends this school. I am formally requesting an interpreter as provided by law. The other side is in Spanish, so they know what they're saying. All they have to do is fill out that card and hand it to the person at the front desk. Something as simple as that business card empowers you to be able to at least walk in and advocate for your child. What we've seen in Northern Kentucky is a really big boom in not just Hispanic families, but immigrant families, right? And my ask of you all today is to get to know these families. Sometimes, because we're human, we have these preconceived notions in our brain about what these people are like or who they are. And my ask is for you to exchange judgment for curiosity and find out and get to know these families, because they've got so much to contribute to our community here in Boone County. They have so much to give, they want to help, they want to be a part of the community. And part of what we want to talk about today, or what we'd like you to know today, is where they come from, the differences in where they come from to where we are now, and how we can sort of integrate all of these immigrant families that are coming into Boone County. We all want to work together. We all live here. We all love Boone County. I live in Burlington. I wouldn't change where I live. I'm from Puerto Rico. I've been in Puerto Rico 30 years. And I love it here. I'm not leaving. And I don't take this the wrong way, but we're here. So, you know, you might as well get to know us, and, you know, so just let me know. So we're going to start with the parent panel. Do you have the questions on it? I do not. You're going to need them, and I'm going to need them. I'm so sorry, because I have to read these questions. I don't know them by heart. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to ask them some questions. Nancy's going to interpret for us. And first, I'd like to introduce Maria Tenjo. She's from Colombia. She's got 2 children. And she's from Honduras. Her husband's from Cuba. And you've been here how many years? 12. Okay. Adriana Ortiz. She's got 4 children, and you've been here how many years, Adriana? ¿Cuántos años llevas aquí? 5? So she's 5 years here. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I've been here 2013, 9 years. And I've got 2 children, and do not think that because your son moved to Nashville and he's got a job, it doesn't end. My son is doing his residency in Virginia in family medicine, and my daughter just graduated with her doctorate in psychology. They're still on my AT&T plan. So just giving you a heads up, it doesn't end there. Sorry. Yeah, do not. So our first question. Háblenos de su experiencia al venir a Estados Unidos. ¿De dónde viene? ¿Cómo llegó aquí? ¿A qué obstáculos se enfrentó? Tell us about the experience coming to us. Where you came from, how you got here, and what hurdles did you face? Maria.
I'm arrived here in 1997 from Colombia, with a 3-year-old. And I just come to visit my brother because he was sick, but he was living here for 30 years. We didn't know anything about him, so my mom was worried. I sold everything and get my visa and come on here to check on him. My plan was to stay for 15 days because I have my job. But because the drugs cartel, Pablo Escobar and all that story, and they exploded the company in the United States. And many other places. So my mom told me, you know what, you better stay there, try to progress, because it's nothing to go back. It was so sad for me because it wasn't my plan to stay. But today I'm very grateful for being here. My son is in college in Cincinnati, UC, and he's gonna graduate next year in the neuroscience. And I still have a daughter, 12-year-old, that I coach. So my difficult times here was like, I didn't speak English. So I get into this McDonald's and I just like, please. And they told me about that, but I wanted French fries. So what I do with that potato, I don't know. So it was just so hard, the communication. I had to work in different jobs from Monday to Sunday to keep up with, rent, whatever, to work for my son that's getting born here. That's really hard. And the only benefits that I could get at that time was the week in the health department. That was really helpful. So transportation, see the police every time behind me when I was walking. It was just, I'm hiding everywhere. And I don't want to talk to them. I don't understand anything. So it was a really big barrier for me. So today I'm a citizen. I've been working for Brighton Center in the last 14 years with the Hispanic community. And I'm here because I would like to, work together and the community to try to find resources. But I'm happy to be here, and like she said, I'm not leaving.
Primero, gracias por la oportunidad de estar aquí y escucharnos. Yo llegué a Estados Unidos de vacaciones. Yo me gradué en Administración de Empresas Turísticas y adquirí una beca en la Universidad de Puerto Rico de la Antillas. Y ellos me pagaban el 80%, el 85%. Y mis amigos me invitaron para el periodo de vacaciones cuando terminamos mis clases. Aquí conocí al padre de mis 2 primeros hijos y al principio todo era súper hermoso, entré con mi visa legal. Cuando me dispuse a regresar me di cuenta que estaba embarazada. Y eso fue un golpe para mi familia, a pesar de que ella era una mujer graduada. Y eso lo voy a contestar en la segunda pregunta. Sobre cómo funciona el correo.
She's going to talk about the culture in the next question, the difference in culture.
Pero ahí comenzó mi pesadilla. A pesar que era una mujer preparada, una mujer que no le tenía miedo a los retos, a los desafíos, comenzó la situación de que si vas a quedar ilegal en este país, si te vas, te denuncio porque mi hijo debe ser americano, o sea, muchas cosas. Entonces,
You're fine.
Cuando dije me voy, me dijo, te voy a poner a alguien que te busque en tu país y traiga de regreso a mi hijo. Entonces eso me atemorizó mucho. Y ahí fue cuando pasaron 6 meses, más tiempo, y me quedé legal. Todo ese tiempo era un problema porque no tenía amigos, no tenía familia que me ayudara para poner un carro a su nombre, para el lenguaje no era lo mío. Entonces, estuve en un shelter antes de que naciera mi hijo porque decidí separarse de padre de mis hijos, o sea, sufrí violencia en el aspecto emocional. Pero todas esas cosas me hicieron fuerte, me hicieron luchar y defender a mis hijos. Me separé de esta persona, luego conocí a mi esposo que es cubano y él hemos conformado la familia que hoy tenemos. Yo tengo 4 hijos. 2 de esos hijos se tuve con él. Uno es con autismo y otro es con speech delay. Los otros 2 de mi primer matrimonio se han integrado súper bien a nuestra familia. Todo lo que he vivido en este país fueron cosas buenas, pero también malas. Pero me he decidido enfocar en tocar lo positivo, para construir las bases que mis hijos necesitan. Y aquí donde este programa me ha orientado, me ha guiado, y toda la experiencia que estoy adquiriendo en conocimiento es lo que me ha ayudado a llegar hasta el día de hoy. Donde estoy.
Mi nombre es Adriana.
My name is Adriana.
Yo vengo de México.
I'm from Mexico.
Actualmente todavía no tengo un estatus.
I don't have a status.
Estamos en proceso del estatus aquí. Para mí fue
For me,
un poco difícil
it
cuando
was
llegué.
really
Mis hijos estaban aún
My
pequeños.
children were small.
Tengo 4
I
hijos,
have 4 children.
3 hombres y una mujer.
3 boys, 1 girl.
Ellos no sabían inglés.
They didn't know English.
Yo tampoco sabía inglés.
I
Entendía un poco,
English,
pero no lo hablo.
but I don't speak it.
Entonces, para mí el primer desafío aquí
First obstacle was
fue el idioma.
the language.
Ajá. Luego no hay personas que te den la bienvenida en las escuelas. Ajá, siento que hace mucha falta de la persona no sé, de nuestro lugar de origen para que
I feel like there needs to be more people that know where we come from.
no conocía el sistema de
I
las
didn't know the
escuelas.
system of the schools,
Entonces eso fue un poquito lo que más batallé.
so that's what I have more struggles with.
Yo seguí apoyando a mis hijos,
This is for my children.
estoy 100% involucrada en su educación.
I'm 100% involved in their education.
Actualmente no trabajo, me dedico a
I
apoyarlos.
currently don't work. I'm dedicated to supporting them.
Aunque al principio fue difícil para ellos, para mí ahorita hemos tratado
Although at the beginning it was difficult,
de aprovechar las oportunidades
to
que
take
nos da este
advantage
país.
of the opportunities that this country has.
Cuando estuve en México,
When I was in Mexico,
estuve apoyando a mis hijos en los procesos de padre de la familia. Me involucré mucho en
I was
todo eso.
involved also in all that.
Y eso me llevó aquí
And that's why
sin realmente pedirlo a
without
mis hijos,
asking,
a ser graduada de ciclo, liderazgo de padre.
graduate school.
Simple is the Commonwealth Institute for Parent Leadership. Last year, we did our first Spanish-speaking class, and she was the graduate from the. ¿Fuiste el primer grupo o el segundo?
Sí.
They're both from the first group of graduates from that Commonwealth Institute for Parent Leadership group. So,
Al principio comenzó
At the
como
beginning, it
clases de
started
inglés.
as English classes,
Ajá, entré a clases de inglés y venía,
and then
era como punto
And then I was together.
liderazgo de padre, sí.
and then leadership of parents.
Entonces me gradué de
So I
ciclo
graduated from school.
y de ahí fue cuando empecé empecé yo
And that's
realmente
why
a entrar aquí en
And
esta,
that's
estos
the
programas,
structure in this program.
programas de tutor, varios programas.
Various programs.
Y gracias a Teresa y a mis
Thanks to
compañeras que
Teresa
conocí,
and my coworkers.
hemos tratado de impulsar a más hispanos para salir adelante.
We have been fostering healthy culture to keep on going.
Y que ustedes vean que también somos personas que
This
quieren
is the
adaptarnos a
says
este
that
país.
they're going to adapt to this country. Thank you.
Right. So, the second question. Háblenos de su país de origen, su cultura, sus tradiciones, las diferencias entre su país y Estados Unidos, en cuanto a la familia, la educación, la ética del trabajo, cualquier cosa que quieran compartir.
Tell us about your home country, your culture, traditions, differences between your country and the US in terms of family, education, work ethics, anything you'd like to share.
I'm going to share just a little bit about where I'm from. Family is very, very, very important. That's one thing that all Hispanics have in common. But because we're Hispanic, people tend to think that we all have the same needs, and we don't. I'm from Puerto Rico, so I'm naturally a US citizen. I have not gone through what my friends here have, so we have a lot of things in common, but we also have things that I have not experienced. Family is huge. You don't move out of your parents' house unless you get married or you die. So you live with my daughter just moved out, she's 26. She got her doctorate, she was working and she moved out, and I was just, kids stayed home. My son is working in Virginia, but that's the culture. My mom lives with me. You take care of one another, and that's really big in our families. We can't even fathom telling your child at 18, okay, you're 18, gotta go, move out. That would break our hearts. That's really big. We don't have many friends in the sense of friends. Our friends are family. All of our birthday parties are 13 first cousins, all your aunts and uncles, your grandma. So there's always food. Any meeting, right? Any meeting that I have, anything that we do, there's always food. That's a huge staple in the Hispanic community. So it's just when we get here, I speak the language. My husband now is speaks English, but it's really hard. You're embarrassed. You're afraid to say something because you're afraid that you're going to say it wrong. And that's a big deal as an adult, that you're afraid to speak. You're afraid to advocate for your children, that you're afraid to ask for something. So it's just some food for thought. Okay, háblenos de su país de origen, su cultura, sus tradiciones, las diferencias entre su país y los Estados Unidos, lo que quiera compartir.
Well, it's not much different from what she says, but something that we really do is take care of our elders. We take care of our grandpa, grandma, and the aunt. Everybody takes tools, but in the house, we don't do what they do yet, that they do the owners and those apartments. No, it's just something that it's not for us. We just take care of our owners to the end. And that's a big difference when I came here. Another thing is the 18, yeah, my son just moved to Cincinnati just because it's close to the college, but he's 26. It was hard for him to leave, and it's just 20 minutes. But our tradition is that one. You can stay home, but you have to work and you want to contribute. Whatever it is, you do bills, you want to stay home. You bring somebody else, that one is contributing. That's how it is. And nobody gets paid after the meeting, but they still can leave us all the time. So another thing is that in my country, I say my country, sorry, but in my country, I feel the same like here. The men and women have like the same value. So women can do the same jobs, can make money. So I didn't feel different. What else? Education. About education is really hard. I think the education in the United States is very easy. Nobody goes here. No, everybody can pass. How's that? I'm hard to pass, or I'm hard to be different. career. So I think here it's very easy. Yeah, very easy. And even like that, my daughter, oh, school is so hard. What? In my country, it's really hard. First, nothing is free. You have to pay every month, and you have to have uniforms. And
In public school. You have to have uniforms. En escuela pública.
no, private school.
Really?
Yeah, private school and public school.
Yeah, in Puerto Rico, in public school, you have to have uniforms.
No, in
Public school, you have
yes.
uniforms.
Both you have to use the uniform. And if you, and the principal is at the door, you bring the real the shoes that belongs to the school, and you're not getting, you're scared, you teacher, o sea, it's just very, very,
Estricto.
strict. It's very strict. So, or you start or you not going anywhere. So it's very, very hard. So I think here is very good for the kids and all that. What else can I talk about work? It's bad. It's really bad. Because if you are 40 in my country, you're really old. You cannot work. Yeah. It's really bad.
Yeah.
So you want to go, you can go as a, just visitor. So don't think about it. Just after 40, not able to do any jobs there. And sometimes in the newspaper, the national newspaper, they ask for, if they need a secretary, it had to be 25, between 25 and 30. Good presentation. I mean, good presentation. It's incredible. Yeah, we have those kind of things. So I love this country because even you are whatever age, you can still work at Walmart and say good morning, welcome, whatever. That's a job.
Yeah.
You get paid. But in my country, no, you die. After 40, I'm gone.
I mean, never to go visit.
No, you can go business.
No,
And that is just
I'll be
making you
old.
want to get a job.
All right.
Okay. That's my experience.
Okay, that's good. Ana, ahora tú.
Yo soy de Honduras,
I'm from Honduras.
mi papá es, mi mamá es de Nicaragua,
My mom's from Nicaragua.
mi papá es de Honduras,
My dad's from Honduras.
mi esposo es cubano,
My husband's from Cuba.
mis hijos son americanos
My children are American.
y ahora también, gracias a Dios, soy
And
americana.
I'm fully American.
Pero
But
es una mezcla de
there's
culturas,
a mixture of cultures,
costumbres y tradiciones.
customs, and traditions.
Agregado a todo lo que ellas dijeron,
Additionally to
completamente
everything,
cierto.
it's totally true, what you said.
Si yo me enfoco en lo positivo de
If I
cómo
only
es
focus
nuestra
on
cultura,
posing positive and culture,
me dediqué a mis hijos por
then
10
I
años
showed
en
10
este país.
years in this country.
Y ahora que ya ellos van a la escuela,
And now they're going to school.
le digo, oh, tengo tiempo para
And
mí
now I
poder
have time
trabajar.
to find something work.
Me doy cuenta que mi currículum
But I
está
realized
desfasado,
that resume is,
o está como, no estoy actualizada.
oh, okay, it's not up to date.
Entonces, nace esa, ¿cómo se diría? Lo que tus padres inculcaron en ti, como esa, queda como esa espinita. Ay, no sé cómo decirlo, sorry, esto es parte de-
Part of the culture not knowing
Queda eso en mi cabeza que tengo que mejorar. Siempre
It's in my head that I
mejorar.
have to
Oh, they
do
still
that.
do. Okay, yeah, but her parents instilled in her.
Entonces,
Okay.
cuando ella dice
When she
estudiar en
said-
nuestros países es difícil porque
Which is an
no
education
todos
is part of that.
tienen acceso a
Not
poder
everyone has
estudiar.
access to.
Y sobre todo cuando la educación es privada.
Even above all, what education is not free.
Entonces, ya con 4 hijos,
With
yo
four
dije,
children,
ok, tengo que estudiar. Y
then I have
estudié
to go
una
back to school.
maestría en
So I
psicopedagogía. Primero para ayudar a
a
mis
master's.
hijos y luego para ver qué yo puedo
First,
aportar a este
about my
país que
children.
me ha dado muchas
And
oportunidades
then to pay back to this country that's giving me
y
much
cada vez se
opportunity.
siguen abriendo. Sé que todavía me
We
estoy
still have
preparando.
this, and we're still preparing.
Mi inglés está en un 60 de
My
100%,
English is about 62.
pero todavía no me atrevo a hacerlo.
I still don't do it.
Entonces, son desafíos y cosas
So those are
que
challenges.
te agradecen de este país y a su gente.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Bueno, en cuanto a mi cultura en
Well,
México,
my culture in Mexico
es muy diferente a la de aquí.
is very much different from here.
La educación es
Education.
muy limitada,
It's very limited.
llegamos hasta el nivel preparatoria,
Sí, pero es
a lo que
una
nos va bien, que nos va bien, y hay muy pocas posibilidades de
There's
estar
very
en
little possibilities
una carrera o estudiar
here
más arriba,
of going
porque realmente la economía está mal en el país.
The economy is really bad.
Ajá, muy bajos los salarios de allá,
Salaries are really low.
muy pocos trabajos mal
Very few
pagados.
jobs and maybe very little.
Entonces realmente la educación allá
Reality education.
no hay forma de nosotros
There's no point
tener una buena educación
to have a good
porque
education
en las escuelas no están
because the schools aren't.
bueno, no sé cómo decirlo, la educación allá es muy baja, no sé,
The education is very low, the levels aren't.
ajá, no invierten en la escuela,
They don't
el
invest in
gobierno no
schools.
invierte en las
The
escuelas.
government doesn't invest in education.
Ajá. Entonces la única forma que uno salga un
So
poquito
the only
mejor
one
es cuando estás en escuelas de paga, que
that is
no
schools in
tenemos
private
acceso.
schools, which we all have access to.
En cuestión de
In regards to
diferencias, hay muchas diferencias.
differences,
Aquí hay muchas oportunidades de salir cuando te lo propones
opportunities here when you propose
y
yourself
te adaptas a este país.
when you adapt yourself to this
Y
country.
allá, aunque estudies
Y
y hagas
studies.
todo lo que puedes, hay mucha corrupción,
There's also corruption,
hay mucha violencia y
violence,
actualmente si te va bien es un peligro también.
and then if you also do good, that's also dangerous.
Es la realidad de nuestros países.
That's the reality of our country.
No siempre con terror,
Siempre
siempre.
with terrifying and insecurity.
Y nosotros como padres queremos
And as parents,
salir de ahí y que
we want to
tengan
have
la
it.
oportunidad de nuestros hijos.
And I'm going to have an opportunity.
Thank you. So the interesting thing about this to me is that we're all from different countries. We all came here for a different reason. My husband in Puerto Rico, there was a change in government, Republican to Democrat, and my husband was a land surveyor in Puerto Rico, and all of the construction stopped. There were no contracts. So he came here, he got a job here doing something completely different. We have, because of violence, we have domestic abuse, we have because of, there are different reasons why each of us came here, and all of us are very grateful to be here. But it's interesting to see that there are real reasons behind why people come. They're running from something, and they feel that here in the United States is a place of safety, and they come looking for that safety. So just something to think about. But all of these families have beautiful stories. They're amazing people. If you get to know them, get to know the culture, all of these families have something to give. So we're gonna open it up to questions from you, if you guys have any questions for our families about absolutely anything. Someone's got one drink. I knew it, somebody's got one drink, something, yay, good.
Not a question, but we just want to say on behalf, speaking on behalf of the Rotary Club, we welcome you. We're happy to have you here. We hope you can find for safety, because the vast majority of people are good people all over the world. And I hope you feel safe and enjoy being American, being here in this country.
Yes.
I had a couple of questions. First, the United States, something that grew up in Boston has a particular accent. Something that grew up in Alabama has a particular accent. So there's someone that speaks Spanish in Puerto Rico, on earth, all the same word.
¿Alguien quiere contestar? ¿Lo contesto yo? ¿Lo contestamos ustedes? All right. We speak basically the same language, but it's the same thing. I speak Cubans and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans who talk really, really fast. really fast. So when I'm speaking to people from Mexico, they're like, and I have to slow down. We have words that we can say in Puerto Rico, and then I found out that they're not nice words in Mexico. So there are certain things, one of them is, I won't say what it is, but it's a gnat, it's a bug. And they say a certain word, and that's not what it means in Puerto Rico. So there are certain words that I've had to learn. We say cake very differently. So when I'm talking to my families about a cake, I'll say bizcocho. And they looked at me like I had like 6 heads. And it was because they say pastel in their language, in their country. And pastel for us is a completely different dish. So it's about, we have basically the same language, but it's all those little idiosyncrasies and all those little sayings and these that you have to kind of get right. But the only Spanish I will say that's really, really, really different is Spanish from Spain. Spanish from Spain is really hard to understand, but everything else is kind of, and there are dialects now. People coming from Mexico that don't speak Spanish, it's a dialect. And I know Boone County Schools has a few families, and we haven't been able to, I've been trying to help them, but we haven't been able to find any interpreters because it's a dialect and it's not even a language, it's like sounds. It's a dialecto, ¿cómo se llama? Yeah, the Odomí, there are a few of them. There are a lot of them, so they're coming here, and they're like, okay, we'll just get them, they're from Mexico, so we'll get them a Spanish interpreter, and they don't know that it's not Spanish, it's a dialect. So it's interesting.
Yeah, Guatemala has 25 different dialects.
Yes, that's right. Guatemala has 25 different dialects.
And when you just see them, oh, just Spanish, I'm gonna talk to you. And understand what else wants, you know?
Oh, and an interesting fact is that a lot of these families are not literate in their own languages. So when we send them things, and we send them things from school, we're thinking, well, we got it to them in Spanish, we had it translated, and we sent it home. Oh, honey, that's fine, but a lot of your families can't read in their own languages. So we need to make sure that when we're reaching out in different modalities, because not everyone can read. So we can send a video, we can send, find different ways. My thing is very much in person, face to face, just because that's what works with our population. Any other questions? Yes?
My daughter is more of a statement. My daughter plays soccer she's actually in the minority. The majority of the other players speak Spanish. So when she wants the ball, I observe this, she'll shout, "Aquí, aquí!" Yeah, it's fun to watch.
That is good. And about that is interesting because I used to live in New Jersey and New York.
I actually grew up in New York.
Yeah, well, this people open their mouth to talk. Hey! But when I moved here, I couldn't understand.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And I was like, what?
Well, my parents are from Germany, and my dad always used to say, it's all, the dialect roughly 100 miles for Germany.
Yeah, same thing. My husband had a hard time with that too, understanding people. The further south you go in Kentucky, the harder it is to understand. So in my house, on our TVs, we have subtitles in English, and he loves all of these shows with cars, and sometimes some of them are from the deep south, and he has to have the subtitles in English because he can't understand what they're saying. But that kind of happens.
But I love it, the moonshine, and then shine in the middle of the Tennessee, and the Johnny Cash, but all that, bluegrass, I think it's beautiful music. I had the opportunity to learn about we love it.
I don't think you should feel bad. I was born in Kentucky. Nobody understands me.
Thank you.
That's what it is.
Do we have any other questions? So Julie, I will keep Julie posted on, she's a part of our group for FIESTA. What we're doing is hoping to keep identifying needs in the Hispanic community. Boone County has been gracious enough to open doors and allow us to help. It's hard to get into some other counties, I'll be honest. All we want to do is help. So if any of you ever have a need, if any of you ever want to reach out to the Hispanic community or want to do any work with them, please let us know. I'm really excited to partner with people, and thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just a reminder, we are here on Monday, next Monday, to hear the Director of Education